2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 1. Let's hit 1,000 likes. Tap that button now. The library is quiet. Its tall shelves filled with old books that smell of leather and parchment. The steady ticking of a clock in the corner fills the silence as the light from the overhead lamps casts a soft glow on the wooden tables. Mark is seated at one of these tables, flipping through a well-worn study guide, his eyes flicking nervously between the pages. Anne, calm and confident, sits across from him, her hands resting on the open folder in front of her. She smiles at him warmly.
All right, Mark, let's begin with the first set of questions. I'll ask you the questions, give you 3 possible answers, and then you'll pick the one you believe is correct. After you answer, I'll explain why. Ready?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Here we go. Question 1. Who was president during World War I? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. Woodrow Wilson.
I think the answer is C. Woodrow Wilson.
Yes, that's correct. Woodrow Wilson was the U.S. president during World War I. He led the country through much of the war, advocating for the League of Nations afterward. Question 2. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? A. July 4th, 1776. B. June 17th, 1776. C. August 15th, 1776.
I think the answer is A. July 4th, 1776.
Absolutely. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776, marking the birth of the United States as an independent nation, free from British rule. Question 3. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. Congress.
I think the answer is A. The President.
You're right. The President signs bills into law. If the President doesn't agree with a bill, they can veto it, but Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 majority vote. Question 4. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. April 15th. B. March 15th. C. May 1st.
I think the answer is A. April 15th.
Correct. April 15th is the deadline for filing federal income tax returns in the United States. If the 15th falls on a weekend or holiday, the deadline is moved to the next business day. Question 5. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. The people of their state. B. The people of their district. C. All U.S. citizens.
I think the answer is A. The people of their state.
Yes, that's right. U.S. senators represent all the people of their state. Each state has 2 senators, regardless of population size. Question 6. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? A. To create local schools. B. To print money. C. To run state elections.
I think the answer is B. To print money.
You got it. One of the powers of the federal government is to regulate currency and print money, ensuring a stable national economy. Question 7. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. Serve on a jury. B. Pay taxes. C. Run for local office.
I think the answer is A. Serve on a jury.
Exactly. Serving on a jury is a responsibility that only U.S. citizens are required to do. Non-citizens are not eligible to serve on juries in federal court. Question 8. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. A. Benjamin Franklin. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. John Jay.
I think the answer is C. John Jay.
Correct. John Jay was one of the writers of the Federalist Papers, alongside Alexander Hamilton and James Madison. These papers were crucial in convincing the public to support the new Constitution. Question 9. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. Because there are 50 states. B. Because there are 50 founders. C. Because it represents the 50 most powerful nations.
I think the answer is A. Because there are 50 states.
Yes, that's right. Each star on the American flag represents one of the 50 states in the Union. It's a visual representation of the unity of the states. Question 10. In what month do we vote for president? A. December. B. November. C. October.
I think the answer is B. November.
Correct. Presidential elections are held in November, specifically on the first Tuesday after the first Monday of the month, every 4 years. Question 11. What does the judicial branch do? A. Enforces laws. B. Makes laws. C. Reviews laws.
I think the answer is C. Reviews laws.
Exactly. The judicial branch is responsible for interpreting and reviewing laws, making sure they are applied fairly and justly, and determining their constitutionality. Question 12. Name one U.S. territory. A. Alaska. B. Puerto Rico. C. Hawaii.
I think the answer is B. Puerto Rico.
Yes, Puerto Rico is one of the U.S. territories. While it is not a state, it is an unincorporated territory, and its residents are U.S. citizens. Question 13. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? A. Terrorism. B. Communism. C. Nuclear weapons.
I think the answer is B. Communism.
Right. During the Cold War, the primary concern for the U.S. was the spread of communism, particularly as it was associated with the Soviet Union and its influence over other nations. Question 14. Name your U.S. representative. A. Answer depends on where you live. B. George Washington. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Exactly. Your U.S. representative is determined by your state and congressional district, so it changes depending on where you live. Question 15. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? A. Print money. B. Declare war. C. Give a driver's license.
I think the answer is C. Give a driver's license.
Yes, that's right. States have the power to issue driver's licenses, which is one of the many powers that the U.S. Constitution grants to them. Great job, Mark. You got all 15 questions correct. You're making excellent progress. Ready for the next set of questions?
Absolutely. Thanks for all the help, Anne. Let's keep going.
Anne smiles, pleased with Mark's progress, as she prepares for the next round of questions. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 2. Help boost this video. Like it if you're finding it helpful. The quiet atmosphere of the library surrounds Mark as he continues to feel more confident with each question. The smell of old books fills the air, and Anne sits across from him, her smile encouraging him to keep going. She opens the folder and prepares for the next round of questions.
You're doing great, Mark. Let's continue with the next set of questions. Ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Perfect. Let's start with the first question. Question 16. Who was the first president? A. John Adams. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. George Washington.
I think the answer is C. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington was the first president of the United States. He led the country through the American Revolution and played a key role in establishing the new government. His leadership earned him the title Father of the Nation. Question 17. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. A. Any citizen can vote. B. Only property owners can vote. C. Only men can vote.
I think the answer is A. Any citizen can vote.
Yes, that's right. One of the major amendments, such as the 15th Amendment, guarantees that the right to vote cannot be denied based on race or previous condition of servitude. The 19th Amendment extended voting rights to women, and the 26th Amendment lowered the voting age to 18, further expanding voting rights. Question 18. Name one state that borders Canada. A. New York. B. Florida. C. Texas.
I think the answer is A. New York.
Exactly. New York is one of the states that borders Canada. Other states like Alaska, Michigan, and Montana also share a border with Canada. Question 19. Name 2 national U.S. holidays. A. New Year's Day, Christmas. B. Labor Day, Thanksgiving. C. President's Day, Memorial Day.
I think the answer is A. New Year's Day, Christmas.
Correct. New Year's Day, celebrated on January 1st, and Christmas on December 25th, are 2 of the major national holidays in the U.S. Both are widely celebrated across the country with various family traditions, and festivities. Question 20. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. Freedom of religion. B. Freedom of speech. C. Freedom to bear arms.
I think the answer is B. Freedom of speech.
Yes, that's correct. The First Amendment protects several fundamental rights, and freedom of speech is one of the most vital. It allows individuals to express themselves without government interference, ensuring democratic principles. Question 21. What does the Constitution do? A. Sets up the government. B. Makes laws. C. Declares war.
I think the answer is A. Sets up the government.
Right. The U.S. Constitution establishes the structure of the federal government, detailing the roles and powers of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. It also ensures the protection of individual rights through its Bill of Rights. Question 22. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. John Adams. C. Andrew Jackson.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Correct. Each state elects 2 senators, and the names of the senators depend on where you live. You can easily find out who your senators are by visiting your state's official website. Question 23. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The vice president. B. The Speaker of the House. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The vice president.
Exactly. If the president is unable to continue, the vice president automatically becomes the president. This ensures there is no gap in leadership, and the country can continue functioning smoothly. Question 24. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The United States. B. The flag. C. The president.
I think the answer is A. The United States.
Correct. The Pledge of Allegiance expresses loyalty to the United States and its values of freedom and justice. Although we face the flag while saying it, the pledge is ultimately a promise to the country itself. Question 25. Who is the father of our country? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
Yes, George Washington is often called the father of our country because of his central role in the founding of the United States and his leadership during the American Revolution and as the first president. Question 26. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Constitution. B. The Declaration of Independence. C. The Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is A. The Constitution.
Correct. The U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. All laws, both federal and state, must align with the Constitution. It outlines the structure of the government and protects the rights of citizens. Question 27. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Nancy Pelosi. B. Mike Johnson. C. Paul Ryan.
I think the answer is B. Mike Johnson.
Correct. Mike Johnson is the current Speaker of the House of Representatives. As Speaker, he leads the House and plays a significant role in shaping legislative priorities and guiding debates. Question 28. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? A. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. B. John Roberts. C. Clarence Thomas.
I think the answer is B. John Roberts.
Yes, John Roberts has been the Chief Justice of the U.S. since 2005. He presides over the Supreme Court and is responsible for ensuring the impartiality and fairness of the court's decisions. Question 29. Where is the Statue of Liberty? A. San Francisco Bay. B. Boston Harbor. C. New York Harbor.
I think the answer is C. New York Harbor.
Correct. The Statue of Liberty stands in New York Harbor, serving as a symbol of freedom and a welcoming sight for immigrants arriving by sea. It's one of the most recognized landmarks in the U.S. Question 30. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? A. Fought for civil rights. B. Founded the NAACP. C. Wrote the Emancipation Proclamation.
I think the answer is A. Fought for civil rights.
That's right. Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, advocating for racial equality through nonviolent protests and powerful speeches, including his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Great job, Mark. You've finished another set of questions. How are you feeling?
I feel more confident each time. Thanks for the help, Anne. Let's keep going.
Anne smiles warmly, proud of Mark's progress, and prepares for the next set of questions. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 3. Which question did you find the hardest? Let me know in the comments. The library feels like a second home now. The low hum of fluorescent lights filling the air as Mark shifts through his study guide. Anne, sitting opposite him, looks up with a smile, sensing that he's ready to tackle the next round. She flips open her folder and prepares for the upcoming questions.
You've been doing fantastic, Mark. Ready to dive into the next set?
Definitely. Let's keep going.
Awesome. Let's get started with the next set. Question 31. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. A. Sioux. B. Crow. C. Cherokee.
I think the answer is B. Crow.
That's right. The Crow are a Native American tribe who originally lived in the Great Plains. Today, they are primarily based in Montana. Their rich culture and history play an important part in American history. Question 32. Name one right only for United States citizens. A. Vote in a federal election. B. Own property. C. Serve on a jury.
I think the answer is A. Vote in a federal election.
Exactly. Only U.S. citizens have the right to vote in federal elections. This right allows citizens to choose the president, senators, and representatives who govern the nation. Question 33. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. A. Slavery. B. Taxation without representation. C. Economic instability.
I think the answer is A. Slavery.
You're right. Slavery was the major issue that led to the Civil War. The conflict arose largely over whether slavery should be allowed in new states and territories, which ultimately divided the nation and led to the war. Question 34. How many U.S. senators are there? A. 150. B. 50. C. 435.
I think the answer is A. 100.
That's correct. There are 100 U.S. senators, 2 from each state, regardless of population size. They form 1/2 of the U.S. Congress, working alongside the House of Representatives to create and pass laws. Question 35. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Secretary of State. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The Speaker of the House.
Yep, that's right. If both the president and the vice president are unable to serve, the Speaker of the House is next in line to become president. This is part of the U.S. presidential succession plan. Question 36. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Washington, D.C. C. Los Angeles.
I think the answer is B. Washington, D.C.
Exactly. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the U.S. It houses the White House, the Capitol, and the Supreme Court, making it the center of the federal government. Question 37. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. Freedom. B. Gold. C. War.
I think the answer is A. Freedom.
You got it. Many colonists came to America seeking freedom, whether it was religious freedom or the desire for a better life. This pursuit of freedom was central to the founding of the United States. Question 38. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. Be loyal to the United States. B. Serve in the military. C. Own a home.
I think the answer is A. Be loyal to the United States.
Correct. When you become a U.S. citizen, you promise to support and defend the Constitution and be loyal to the country. This promise signifies a commitment to the principles that form the foundation of the United States. Question 39. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? A. Because there were 13 original colonies. B. Because there are 13 states. C. Because it represents the 13 amendments.
I think the answer is A. Because there were 13 original colonies.
Right. The 13 stripes on the American flag represent the 13 original colonies that declared independence from Great Britain. These stripes serve as a reminder of the country's early beginnings. Question 40. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Life and liberty. B. Freedom of speech and religion. C. Right to vote and own property.
I think the answer is A. Life and liberty.
That's correct. The Declaration of Independence states that all people have the unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These rights became the foundation for the country's laws and government. Question 41. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? A. 21 and older. B. 18 and older. C. 16 and older.
I think the answer is B. 18 and older.
Right. In the United States, citizens must be at least 18 years old to vote in presidential elections. This was established by the 26th Amendment, which lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. Question 42. What are two rights of everyone living in the United States? A. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. B. Right to a trial by jury, right to bear arms. C. Right to vote, right to own property.
I think the answer is A. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
Exactly. These are two fundamental rights guaranteed to everyone living in the U.S., regardless of citizenship status. The First Amendment ensures that everyone is free to express their opinions and practice any religion they choose. Question 43. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. Pacific Ocean. B. Atlantic Ocean. C. Indian Ocean.
I think the answer is B. Atlantic Ocean.
That's right. The Atlantic Ocean lies to the east of the U.S., stretching from the northeastern states down to the southeastern states. It has historically played an important role in trade and travel. Question 44. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? A. Alaska. B. Louisiana. C. Florida.
I think the answer is B. Louisiana.
Correct. The U.S. purchased the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803. This deal, known as the Louisiana Purchase, nearly doubled the size of the United States and opened up the western frontier. Question 45. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. The Civil War. B. The War of 1812. C. The Spanish-American War.
I think the answer is A. The Civil War.
That's correct. The Civil War, which took place from 1861 to 1865, was fought between the northern states, the Union, and the southern states, the Confederacy, over issues like slavery and states' rights. Great job, Mark. You've completed another round. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling more confident with each set of questions. Thanks, Anne. Let's keep going.
Anne smiles at Mark's progress, feeling proud of how far he's come. She's ready to dive into the next set of questions as they continue working through the material. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 4. Your feedback helps us improve. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. The soft rustle of pages fills the quiet library as Mark turns the next page of his study guide, his mind fully focused. He's beginning to feel a rhythm with each round of questions, and Anne, sitting across from him, notices the shift in his confidence. The steady ticking of a clock in the corner adds to the calm atmosphere as Anne prepares the next set of questions.
You're doing a fantastic job, Mark. You're getting closer to the finish line. Ready to tackle the next set?
Yes, let's keep going.
All right, let's dive right in. Question 46. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. Established the Constitution. B. Announced our independence from Great Britain. C. Declared war on Britain.
I think the answer is B. Announced our independence from Great Britain.
Exactly. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, formally declared the American colonies' independence from Great Britain. It was a turning point in U.S. history, laying the foundation for the nation's birth. Question 47. Name one branch or part of the government. A. The President. B. The Senate. C. The Cabinet.
I think the answer is A. The President.
That's correct. The President is part of the executive branch of the government, responsible for enforcing laws and overseeing the administration of the country. The government is divided into three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. Question 48. Who is the governor of your state now? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. Mike Pence. C. Andrew Cuomo.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Exactly. The governor of each state varies depending on where you reside. Each state has its own elected governor who oversees state laws and policies. Question 49. Who vetoes bills? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. Congress.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President has the power to veto bills passed by Congress. This power helps maintain the balance of power between the branches of government. However, Congress can override a veto with a 2/3 majority vote. Question 50. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. James Madison. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. John Adams.
I think the answer is B. Thomas Jefferson.
That's right. Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. His eloquent writing expressed the colonies' desire for freedom and their break from British rule. Question 51. When was the Constitution written? A. 1789. B. 1787. C. 1776.
I think the answer is B. 1787.
Exactly. The U.S. Constitution was written in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It replaced the Articles of Confederation and created the framework for the federal government. Question 52. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. A. The Colorado River. B. The Mississippi River. C. The Ohio River.
I think the answer is B. The Mississippi River.
That's correct. The Mississippi River is one of the longest rivers in the U.S., flowing from the northern states down to the Gulf of Mexico. Along with the Missouri River, it forms one of the largest river systems in the world. Question 53. Who makes federal laws? A. The President. B. Congress. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is B. Congress.
Exactly. Federal laws are made by Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Together, they create, debate, and pass laws that govern the entire country. Question 54. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? A. The Constitution. B. Checks and balances. C. The Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is B. Checks and balances.
Correct. The system of checks and balances ensures that no one branch of the government, executive, legislative, or judicial, becomes too powerful. Each branch has some measure of control over the others to maintain balance. Question 55. When must all men register for the Selective Service? A. At age 21. B. At age 18. C. At age 17.
I think the answer is B. At age 18.
That's right. All male U.S. citizens and immigrant men must register for the Selective Service at age 18. This is a step toward a potential military draft in times of national emergency. Question 56. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 9. B. 6. C. 12.
I think the answer is A. 9.
Exactly. The U.S. Supreme Court consists of 9 justices, including the Chief Justice. These justices interpret the Constitution and oversee the highest legal cases in the country. Question 57. We elect a president for how many years? A. 4 years. B. 6 years. C. 2 years.
I think the answer is A. 4 years.
Correct. A U.S. president is elected for a term of 4 years. The president can serve a maximum of 2 terms for a total of 8 years in office if re-elected. Question 58. What is an amendment? A. A change to the Constitution. B. A law passed by Congress. C. A presidential order.
I think the answer is A. A change to the Constitution.
That's right. An amendment is a formal change or addition to the Constitution. The first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights, and they protect individual freedoms and rights. Question 59. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Vice President. C. The President.
I think the answer is C. The President.
Exactly. The President is the head of the executive branch, responsible for enforcing laws, managing national defense, and overseeing the operation of the federal government. Question 60. Who is Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military? A. The Vice President. B. The President. C. The Secretary of Defense.
I think the answer is B. The President.
Right. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. military, responsible for overseeing national defense and military decisions, though many of these decisions are made in consultation with the Secretary of Defense and military leaders. Great job, Mark. You've made it through another set of questions. How do you feel now?
I feel pretty confident, Anne. Thanks for all your help. Let's keep going.
Anne smiles, proud of Mark's progress. With each set, he's becoming more and more prepared, and she's excited to continue helping him as they approach the final rounds of questions. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 5. Want to see more? Subscribe now and join our community. As the sun begins to dip behind the horizon, casting long shadows across the library's wooden tables, Mark feels a sense of accomplishment with each question he answers. His study guide is now filled with notes and highlighted sections, a testament to the progress he's made. Anne looks at him with a proud smile, recognizing the determination in his eyes. She opens her folder, ready for the next set of questions.
You're really knocking these out, Mark. How are you feeling so far?
I'm feeling good. Let's keep going. I'm ready for more.
Awesome. Let's dive right in. Question 61. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. A. World War I. B. The Civil War. C. The Revolutionary War.
I think the answer is B. The Civil War.
That's right. The Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was a pivotal conflict between the Northern States, Union, and the Southern States, Confederacy. The war primarily centered around the issues of slavery and states' rights. Question 62. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. Inventing the telephone. B. Diplomat. C. Being a general.
I think the answer is B. Diplomat.
Correct. Benjamin Franklin was a key figure in American history, known for his work as a diplomat in France during the American Revolution. He played a crucial role in securing France's support for the American cause. Question 63. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Barack Obama. B. Joe Biden. C. Donald Trump.
I think the answer is C. Donald Trump.
That's correct. Donald Trump was re-elected as the 47th President of the United States in the 2024 election. He had previously served as the 45th President from 2017 to 2021 before being elected again in 2024, making this his second term in office. Question 64. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? A. The Civil Rights Movement. B. The Women's Suffrage Movement. C. The Abolitionist Movement.
I think the answer is A. The Civil Rights Movement.
Exactly. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., fought to end racial segregation and discrimination, especially against African Americans, and worked to secure civil rights for all citizens. Question 65. What is the rule of law? A. The government makes the laws. B. Everyone must follow the law. C. The president can ignore the law.
I think the answer is B. Everyone must follow the law.
That's right. The rule of law means that all people, including government officials, are subject to and must follow the law. It's a fundamental principle in democratic societies that ensures fairness and justice. Question 66. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. For independence. B. Because of high taxes. C. For more land.
I think the answer is B. Because of high taxes.
Correct. One of the primary reasons the colonists fought the British was the imposition of high taxes without representation in Parliament. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," became a rallying cry during the American Revolution. Question 67. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The District Court. B. The Supreme Court. C. The Court of Appeals.
I think the answer is B. The Supreme Court.
Yes, that's correct. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. It has the final say on interpreting the Constitution and resolving disputes between states or between citizens and the government. Question 68. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Articles of Confederation. C. The Constitution Amendments.
I think the answer is A. The Bill of Rights.
Right. The Bill of Rights is made up of the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. These amendments were added to protect individual liberties, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. Question 69. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. The Civil War. B. World War II. C. The Spanish-American War.
I think the answer is B. World War II.
Correct. World War II was one of the major wars the U.S. participated in during the 1900s. The war lasted from 1939 to 1945, and the U.S. joined the Allies after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Question 70. What are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? A. Vote, run for office. B. Vote, protest. C. Protest, join the military.
I think the answer is A. Vote, run for office.
That's right. Voting and running for office are two important ways Americans can participate in their democracy. By voting, citizens help choose their leaders, and by running for office, they can directly contribute to making decisions for the country. Question 71. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? A. 2 years. B. 4 years. C. 6 years.
I think the answer is A. 2 years.
Exactly. U.S. representatives serve 2-year terms. Elections for the House of Representatives are held every 2 years, giving voters the opportunity to choose their representatives more frequently. Question 72. There were 13 original states. Name 3. A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire. B. Florida, Texas, California. C. Maine, Oregon, Ohio.
I think the answer is A. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire.
Correct. The 13 original states that declared independence from Great Britain included New York, New Jersey, and New Hampshire. These states were part of the foundation of the United States. Question 73. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. Fought for women's rights. B. Wrote the Constitution. C. Was a military leader.
I think the answer is A. Fought for women's rights.
That's right. Susan B. Anthony was a leader in the women's suffrage movement, fighting for women's right to vote. Her tireless work helped secure the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920. Question 74. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? A. Pacific Ocean. B. Atlantic Ocean. C. Arctic Ocean.
I think the answer is A. Pacific Ocean.
Correct. The Pacific Ocean is on the west coast of the United States, stretching from the western borders of California, Oregon, and Washington all the way to Alaska. Question 75. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. Native Americans. B. European settlers. C. Africans.
I think the answer is A. Native Americans.
Exactly. Native Americans were the first people to inhabit the land now known as the United States. They had diverse cultures and societies long before the arrival of European settlers. You've done a fantastic job, Mark. How do you feel about all this progress?
I feel great. It's been challenging, but I'm learning so much. Thanks for helping me through it, Anne.
Anne smiles warmly, pleased with Mark's progress. She prepares for the next round of questions, eager to help him finish strong. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Part 6. Join thousands of learners by subscribing today. The library is now dimly lit, with the last traces of sunlight fading through the windows. Mark takes a deep breath, preparing for the final stretch of his study session. Anne sits across from him, confident in his abilities but knowing the last few questions will be crucial. She flips open her folder and with a smile begins the next round.
You're doing amazing, Mark. Just a few more questions to go. Are you ready to finish strong?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Awesome. Let's jump in. Question 76. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years? A. 4 years. B. 6 years. C. 2 years.
I think the answer is B. 6 years.
That's right. U.S. senators serve 6-year terms. This longer term helps ensure stability and continuity in the Senate. Senators are elected in staggered elections, with about 1/3 of the Senate up for election every 2 years. Question 77. Name one state that borders Mexico. A. Arizona. B. California. C. Texas.
I think the answer is B. California.
Correct. California is one of the 4 states that border Mexico. The others are Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. These border states share both cultural and geographical connections with Mexico. Question 78. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Approves laws. B. Advises the President. C. Oversees Congress.
I think the answer is B. Advises the President.
Exactly. The President's Cabinet is made up of key officials who head the various departments of the federal government. They advise the President on matters related to their areas of expertise, such as defense, education, and foreign policy. Question 79. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? A. We the people. B. We the citizens. C. We the Congress.
I think the answer is A. We the people.
Right. The phrase, we the people, opens the U.S. Constitution and represents the idea that the power of government comes from the people themselves. It's a key principle of democracy. Question 80. What is the economic system in the United States? A. Communist economy. B. Market economy. C. Socialist economy.
I think the answer is B. Market economy.
Correct. The U.S. operates under a market economy, where businesses and individuals make decisions about what to produce, sell, and buy, with limited government interference. This system encourages innovation and competition. Question 81. What are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The Senate and the House of Representatives. B. The Senate and the Supreme Court. C. The House of Representatives and the President.
I think the answer is A. The Senate and the House of Representatives.
Exactly. The U.S. Congress is a bicameral legislature, meaning it has 2 chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Together, they are responsible for making and passing federal laws. Question 82. What is the capital of your state? A. Answer depends on where you live. B. New York City. C. Los Angeles.
I think the answer is A. Answer depends on where you live.
Correct. Each state has its own capital, and the name of the state capital depends on where you live. You can easily find the capital of your state by doing a quick search or checking a state map. Question 83. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. Kamala Harris. B. Mike Pence. C. J.D. Vance.
I think the answer is C. J.D. Vance.
Correct. J.D. Vance is currently serving as the Vice President of the United States. He was elected alongside President Donald Trump in the 2024 election. His background as a political figure and author contributed to his rise as the Vice President. Question 84. How many amendments does the Constitution have? A. 27, B. 33, C. 12.
I think the answer is A. 27.
Correct. The U.S. Constitution currently has 27 amendments. These amendments include the Bill of Rights, the first 10, and others that have been added over time to address issues like voting rights and civil liberties. Question 85. What are two cabinet-level positions? A. Attorney General, Vice President. B. Secretary of State, Chief Justice. C. Secretary of Defense, Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is A. Attorney General, Vice President.
Right. The Attorney General and Vice President are both cabinet-level positions. The Vice President serves as a key advisor to the President, while the Attorney General heads the Department of Justice and enforces federal laws. Question 86. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Native Americans. B. Africans. C. Europeans.
I think the answer is B. Africans.
That's right. Africans were forcibly taken from their homeland and sold as slaves to work on plantations and in other labor-intensive industries. This tragic chapter in U.S. history had long-lasting impacts on American society. Question 87. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? A. The Civil War. B. Terrorists attacked the United States. C. The moon landing.
I think the answer is B. Terrorists attacked the United States.
Exactly. On September 11, 2001, terrorists hijacked planes and carried out coordinated attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. This event profoundly impacted the nation and led to changes in security and foreign policy. Question 88. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? A. Because they have more people. B. Because they are bigger. C. Because they are wealthier.
I think the answer is A. Because they have more people.
Correct. States with larger populations have more representatives in the House of Representatives. The number of representatives a state has is based on its population as measured by the census every 10 years. Question 89. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. June 14th. B. July 4th. C. August 15th.
I think the answer is B. July 4th.
That's right. Independence Day, celebrated on July 4th, marks the anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, when the 13 colonies declared their independence from Great Britain. Question 90. What is the political party of the president now? A. Republican. B. Democratic. C. Independent.
I think the answer is A. Republican.
Exactly. The current president, Donald Trump, is a member of the Republican Party. Political parties play a key role in organizing elections and forming government policies. Well done, Mark. You've finished this set, and you've been doing amazing. How are you feeling now?
I feel even more confident now. Thanks for all your help, Anne. I'm ready for the final stretch.
Anne smiles with pride, seeing how far Mark has come in his preparation. She's excited to continue guiding him as they move toward the final questions. 2025 U.S. Citizenship Official USCIS 100 Civics Questions with Answers, Final Part. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the video. The library has now emptied, the soft light of the evening outside casting long shadows across the wooden tables. Mark, though tired from the long hours of study, feels a new sense of determination as he reaches the final round of questions. Anne looks at him, a sense of pride evident in her smile. The end is in sight, and they are nearly there.
Mark, you've done an incredible job so far. We're almost at the finish line, just a few more questions to go. How are you feeling?
Honestly, a little nervous, but I know I can do it. Let's finish strong.
Absolutely. Let's tackle the final set of questions. Question 91. What are the two major political parties in the United States? A. Democratic and Republican. B. Independent and Green. C. Libertarian and Socialist.
I think the answer is A. Democratic and Republican.
That's correct. The two major political parties in the U.S. are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. These parties dominate the political landscape and have different views on how the government should run. Question 92. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. Ended the Civil War. B. Freed the slaves. C. Gave women the right to vote.
I think the answer is B. Freed the slaves.
Exactly. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863, declared that all slaves in Confederate states were free. It was a pivotal moment in the Civil War and a significant step toward ending slavery in the U.S. Question 93. Who did the United States fight in World War II? A. Japan, Italy, Germany. B. Japan, Russia, France. C. Germany, Russia, Italy.
I think the answer is A. Japan, Italy, Germany.
That's right. The United States fought against the Axis powers, Japan, Italy, and Germany, during World War II. The war lasted from 1939 to 1945 and was one of the most significant global conflicts in history. Question 94. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? A. 100. B. 435. C. 50.
I think the answer is B. 435.
Correct. The House of Representatives has 435 voting members, each representing a congressional district. The number of representatives per state is based on population, with larger states having more members. Question 95. What is freedom of religion? A. You must practice a religion. B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. C. You must follow the religion of the state.
I think the answer is B. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
Exactly. Freedom of religion, as guaranteed by the First Amendment, allows individuals to follow any religious belief or none at all without government interference. Question 96. What is the name of the national anthem? A. God Bless America. B. America the Beautiful. C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
I think the answer is C. The Star-Spangled Banner.
Correct. The Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem of the United States. It was written by Francis Scott Key in 1814 and became the official anthem in 1931. Question 97. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Herbert Hoover. C. Harry Truman.
I think the answer is A. Franklin Roosevelt.
Right. Franklin D. Roosevelt was president during the Great Depression and much of World War II. His New Deal programs helped the country recover from the Depression, and his leadership during the war was crucial to the Allied victory. Question 98. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Freed the slaves. B. Created the U.S. government. C. Wrote the Constitution.
I think the answer is A. Freed the slaves.
Exactly. Abraham Lincoln is best known for his leadership during the Civil War and for issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, which led to the eventual abolition of slavery in the United States. Question 99. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? A. World War II. B. The Korean War. C. The Vietnam War.
I think the answer is A. World War II.
Correct. Dwight D. Eisenhower served as Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II, overseeing key military operations. His leadership was critical to the success of the Allies in Europe. Question 100. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? A. The U.S. declared independence. B. The U.S. Constitution was written. C. The Bill of Rights was ratified.
I think the answer is B. The U.S. Constitution was written.
Exactly. The Constitutional Convention, held in 1787, brought together delegates from the original 13 states to create the framework for the new government, resulting in the U.S. Constitution. Question 101. What does the U.S. Constitution do? A. It sets up the government. B. It creates the legal system. C. It provides a military strategy.
I think the answer is A. It sets up the government.
That's right. The U.S. Constitution establishes the structure of the government, outlining the roles and powers of the three branches, executive, legislative, and judicial, and protecting the rights of citizens. Question 102. How long is a U.S. Senator's term? A. 4 years. B. 2 years. C. 6 years.
I think the answer is C. 6 years.
Exactly. Senators serve 6-year terms, with elections held every 2 years for about 1/3 of the Senate. This longer term ensures stability and continuity in the legislative process. Question 103. What is the primary function of the judicial branch? A. To make laws. B. To interpret laws. C. To enforce laws.
I think the answer is B. To interpret laws.
Right. The judicial branch, including the Supreme Court, is responsible for interpreting the laws, ensuring they are applied fairly, and determining their constitutionality. Question 104. Who is responsible for making laws in the United States? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. Congress.
I think the answer is C. Congress.
Correct. Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, is responsible for making and passing laws in the U.S. Question 105. Who can propose a bill in Congress? A. Only the President. B. Only the Vice President. C. Anyone, but it must be introduced by a member of Congress.
I think the answer is C. Anyone, but it must be introduced by a member of Congress.
Exactly. While anyone can propose an idea for a bill, it must be formally introduced by a member of Congress before it can be debated and voted on. Mark, you've completed all of the questions. How do you feel now that you've reached the end?
I feel really proud and relieved. Thank you so much for helping me through all of this, Anne.
Anne smiles warmly, proud of Mark's dedication and progress. They've reached the final stretch, and she's excited to see how far he's come on his journey to becoming a U.S. citizen.